Claire, one of the things we mentioned at the top of this discussion was that probably one of the most searched for symptoms around the menopause is loss of sex drive. So it would be great to get an understanding from you on what causes loss of sex drive, and then we're going to go into solutions.
Yes, yeah. So no, absolutely. And again, I know the surveys show 40 to 50% of women going through the menopause transition, low libido. But again, say it all the time, I think it's underreported. But again, it's not volunteered and it's not talked about. And sometimes unless you ask, people don't volunteer it. So libido is incredibly complex, as I'm sure everybody has an inkling about. So going through the menopause, there are lots and lots of changes. And if we just focus in on the loss of estrogen and think about what's happening. So loss of estrogen affects your brain. And loss of estrogen can mean that the pleasure in sex can go, you can lose your desire. But also anxiety can increase in the perimenopause, depression, low mood, feelings of low motivation. Physical changes mean that you don't feel as attractive, loss of confidence, juggling children, parents, work, etc. So there's what's happening physically, there's what's happening hormonally, there's what's happening mentally. There's, you might be married for 30 years and need to, feel a little bit that you're maybe stuck in a rut, even, dare I say it. So lots and lots of factors that impact. If we just focus in on hormones just for a moment, so loss of desire, so loss of libido sort of incorporates two aspects when people talk about it. So there's loss of desire to have sex, that sexual feeling, that desire that actually want to be sexual, want to have a sexual experience. And then there's arousal, which is the physical response that then comes from that. And often in the menopause, what you find is people just cannot be bothered, just lose the desire to have sex, just too much going on, too many things. But actually, once they start having sex, they can really enjoy it, and arousal's not affected at all. So the key thing, it's really complicated. What you're trying to do is try and address everything, which is why you need me as a menopause specialist, you need Eleanor and her products, and you need Sue to talk about what's going on in your relationship and everything else that's going on around that, really to tackle it. So the other thing that women have started, a few patients have started volunteering, and I'm starting to ask about it more, is that it's harder to come to orgasm. That again, with that thin, sensitive tissue, the thin tissue that becomes more delicate actually loses some of its sensitivity. So women are saying to me that they're needing to use vibrators where they didn't ever need to before, or they're just getting really frustrated and anxious about it taking longer to come to orgasm. And that's a really big issue as well, because then that causes anxiety. Women tell me they're ashamed to talk about it. It's as if, how dare I even consider the fact that I might still want to orgasm through the menopause. It's really interesting. And I think the video consultations have helped a bit. Some people have said that to me, but I suspect that is a massively underreported issue as well.